Hello, and welcome to another episode of Coach Kiana Gets Therapy from therapist Danielle in front of all of y'all in public.
Whatever's needed, okay? I
Just
got you.
kidding. Welcome to the Real on Parenting. I am Coach Kiana,
And I'm therapist Danielle.
and we are here to just give you some real talk on real situations in a real way. All right. So, last episode we were talking about letting go and me learning to let go, and I cut the episode short, so if you didn't like it, oh well, I cut it short because I was feeling some kind of way,
In some
right? I
type
get
of
to
way,
be in
it's
my
all
feelings.
right.
But apparently I'm glutton for punishment, and so here I am with another story, right? So Danielle, Kayla and I were talking about safe space, right?
Hmm.
um she was sharing with me like all the boys that the girls consider ugly.
Okay.
She had a sixth grade, y'all. Like, this is a real thing going
And
on.
then my see, I have to look at you like, oh, well, were you ready? Were you ready for that?
But, I'm always like thinking, okay, what am I not being told? So I was like, so who are the boys that are cute? And she was like,
Okay.
I'm not telling you that.
I would say right answer, Kayla. You tell Auntie Danny that's what you do. And then I take a mental note. I put it in my phone because I don't remember names. And then as a name pop up and you say it, I text you that that's such and such, and I have all the description of who he is. But anyway.
But see, because that's a part of what okay. So I was like, why can't you tell me that? And she was like, because like this is not a safe space. Now, because safe space is a buzzword for me, I was just like, what? Right? Like
Wait a
I'm
minute.
little John in this mug all of a sudden. So she says,
Okay.
Mom,
There we go.
like I feel like I can tell you things, but you have this overreaction, right? So as she said it, of course I overreact, right? I'm like,
Overreaction.
it's like if
Key
you're gonna
word.
accuse me, I'm
Yes.
I'm going, I'm going
She
all
said
in.
acute. She's making accusations.
So I
Oh my
say,
goodness.
so of course I do that, and then I'm like, okay, so what do you mean? And she's like,
Hmm.
that right there.
I was just
And
about to
I'm
say that, so she said
I'm
it for me.
calling myself being funny when I do that kind of stuff. She like, no, right? So what I'm giving and what's being interpreted or what's being received are very different things. So she goes, there. I said, so you don't feel this is a safe space? She says, no, I think that. There are some things that I just don't want to tell you right now. She's like, I'll tell you
Yes.
eventually, but like in the
I'm about to take
moment,
notes. Yes, yes. I'm gonna let you
listen,
finish, but no, I'm taking notes, okay?
listen, right, I got you. Like I'm with it.
I
So
know
I
you always
said,
taking notes, but I'm about to pull these out. Go ahead.
okay, real talk. If you don't feel this is a safe space and I feel I'm creating a safe space, then how do we co-create one? So I was explaining what co-creating a safe space looks like, right? Like maybe you need this and I want this, and like we got to be able to
Yes,
give and take, right? Now, and I
yes,
use the example of sometimes in the mornings, like if I just have to take Kayla and then I'm coming home to work in the office, I have a different attitude in the mornings than when I have to like
yes,
physically be like, okay, let me make
yes,
sure that everything is in place. Is my backpack? You know what I'm saying? It's different. So when she come to me and she want to use the first 3 billion words of her day in those mornings where I gotta make sure I'm out the house and we on time, then I'm like, hey, I don't have the capacity right now. Like what I need
right,
is to be able to
right.
focus. So I can't have this conversation. Can we have it in the car? Right. Because on the drive,
Yes,
we
yes,
can talk about anything. But in that moment, when I'm trying to get everything together, I just don't have the capacity to deal with it because I'm thinking of stuff while you're telling me the story. Now I'm frustrated because I gotta ask you to repeat it, and
yes,
huh. So I said, so in those moments, I can't handle it. I said, so what is it that you need so that we can both? I was like, the car is our safe space where we can talk about stuff in the mornings. So tell me what you need to have that in the house. I kid you not. She was like, first, you can't be telling daddy everything.
okay, yeah, yeah,
But that puts me in a situation because he has a right to parent. So
Well,
if I can't tell him certain things because you're confiding in me, but it's something that daddy should know. Like
so
that's
that's
where the
different.
fine
So
line
that's
is.
different. I was just about to say that. So and sorry to
No, you're good.
not
Go
to
ahead.
cut you off, but cut you off. But with that, that, and I'm pretty sure you already said this, but with that, of course, mommy wants you to share all the things, but there's going to be things depending on what happened, who did it, where it was, depending on certain situations related to that. There may be times where you have to tell daddy because he's your dad. However, if
Right.
you're just confiding in me and we're just, girl's about to say a bad word, but we're just socially engaging, chit chatting, just having our moments, having our time, those things will be things that will stay between us. But if it comes down to where a parent, and even vice versa, you're talking to daddy, if it comes down to something that both parents should know, then those things will be communicated. And I also always tell parents that when those topics, if you will, arise, you let the kid know in that moment. You let your child know in that moment. So they're not blindsided, like, you told my business. Now I'm not telling you anything, then they shut down. So
Right. So
mhm.
I did tell her that after, but in the
Okay.
moment, I just wanted to hear her, right?
This first. Yeah.
So she was like, you can't tell daddy. She was like, you can't tell grandma.
Okay.
It's just
Okay.
like, sheesh,
Well, then,
that's
and
my
then that's
person.
it. I know, but yes, exactly. But it's not
But
hers.
she's
Okay.
right,
So,
right. And
yes.
so she's telling me, she was like, and so she was like, you can't tell Uncle Keaton, like, you know what I mean? Like, because
Girl,
a lot of times
why
things
are you
come up in
telling all
conversation.
the business?
No. It's not me telling all the business. When we're having conversations, sometimes, like, it's like conversation comes up. We're always together. We go to my mom's house during the week. And so we're just sitting
Okay.
shooting the breeze. And so conversations come up.
Okay.
If not telling her business, she's saying she don't want them to know at all. Like she's like, I don't want
Okay.
anybody to know when it's just us. But
Okay.
she'll bring it up herself and then we'll engage. But I'm not going and telling them. You understand? Like let's be clear.
Okay.
Like I'm not breaking
Okay.
confidentiality. She is like, if
She
we're
telling
having
her own
conversations,
business.
right?
Okay.
Or she'll be like, Mama, can you tell them what happened? Right? Because
Okay.
she
Okay.
doesn't want to be the one, but she wants them to know. So it's all these
Okay.
nuances. But she's
Okay.
like, okay, but sometimes you be starting before I be ready for them to know. Okay, that's fair. No problem. So then she's like, you can't react. And I'm
Okay.
like,
Okay. That's a
I
good
can't
one.
be a
That's a good
person.
one. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. And so I'm pretty sure she did, but did she expound on
Yes.
the not okay, go ahead.
She was like, you can't react by saying anything, by asking questions, no
So no
facial expressions. So I was like, okay, this is now when we're going through something and I hit her with she's like, that's your mean smile.
oh,
What is
right.
my mean smile? Like, this is me giving you an opportunity to reset yourself, right? But and so she's like, you can't react at all. And so I was
Okay.
like, okay, so here's my non-react face, right? I'm just listening. So she tells me who the boys are that she thinks are cute.
Okay.
And I've heard one of these names
I'm sure you
repeatedly.
have.
So I'm
Mhm.
like, uh-huh. And she goes, see, when your voice goes
The
that high,
tone, I was
that's a
just about to say
reaction. Y'all, my daughter is 10, but her mama is a life coach, right? She got therapist aunties and all
yeah,
like,
right,
she's
right.
just
She on it. She is on it.
she
Yes, with
is.
all the
And I'm
cues.
just so she's telling me about the boy that she likes. Well, that
Okay.
not the boy she likes, but that she thinks
It's
are
cute.
cute.
Hmm.
And then she says, so, this one boy asked her to like meet him after class. After class, he was like, well, can you just meet me after school? And I immediately knew, right? It clicked.
Who it was.
No, not who it was,
Oh,
but he wanted to tell you he liked you. But
oh,
he was
okay.
scared. He lost his nerve in between the class. So
Okay.
she was
Okay.
like, so the reason I was late coming out, I was, later coming out the gate today is because he told me that he liked me. And
Okay.
she was like, but he said that he can't date me until high school. So he doesn't want my answer until high school.
All right. So he's a
So,
keeper. You put his name in your phone under notes.
girl.
Put
And
the
so I
date
was like,
in the school in the
uh-huh,
class.
okay, okay. All right. And so what I told, she said, now you can respond. And so I
Hey, so you
said,
just had to hold it. Okay.
right.
Just had
Because
to hold
I
it
do, I
together
be,
in the moment.
my face be
Oh,
giving all,
you know, I know.
my
You know,
face
I
need
know.
deliverance. So I said,
Okay. That's not
my
my
face,
calling, so
my
I
face
can't
don't
deliver
hold.
nobody.
So I said, you know what? He just told you without telling you. He just told you that his mother has taught him, don't you get caught up with these fast tail girls. You go do your education. And at a certain
Right.
point, I'll allow you to start dating and having
Yes.
outings. I was like, but you're not going to get caught up with this foolishness with these girls and somebody getting
Right.
pregnant or somebody accusing you. I said, so he has
Right.
been taught.
Yes.
Right now, you focus. Later on, you can
Yes.
indulge. But right now, you focus.
Yes.
I said, and since you can't date till you 16 anyway.
Right.
She's like, but I'll be in the 12th grade. So since you can't date till you 16 anyway,
And 16 is not 12th grade, but
step for wife.
okay.
Step for wife. Since you can't date till you 16 anyway.
Oh my goodness, that's too funny.
That's the perfect
Okay.
time. In my mind, though, I'm like you. What's this boy name and number so I can make sure that when you in the
Oh no,
12th
because
grade,
that's gonna
because
come
that's
over time
respect.
though.
He,
Yeah, I was
he
just
is
about to
obeying his
say that.
parents. He putting you on notice though,
Right.
like, hey, I like
Yes.
you. I can't act
Yes.
on it though. But
Right.
when I come back, I need to know his name so that when they get
Yes.
married, you know what I'm saying, I can put this story up as part of the wedding.
And I got the notes. But anyways, so but with that is great. That is awesome. And one, I never hear that. I want to just say rarely. I never hear that. Um,
Thank you.
sorry.
Because it paused and I didn't know that. Y'all, Danielle has had to step out for a second and just get the camera situation together. She'll be right back. So let me say this while she's coming back. Oh, she's already coming back. So we're good to go. Like, yeah, it was just a situation. Like, sometimes the cameras be acting up. All right, I'm with you, Danielle. We didn't lose anything. So you were saying that that was great. And one thing that you've never heard it before.
Yes, so correct. It's it's a never for me in this capacity in regards to being a therapist and a parent sharing, whether that's their child or friends or whatever you want to call it, has complied, followed the rules when their parents are not there, okay, on
Right.
what they should be doing and not doing. So that's great. And you may have already you're always on it, but you probably already said this, but letting Kayla know that he is showing you respect. And it
Yes.
all starts with respect first.
But
And it
he's respecting his parents' wishes
right, and
by
then that's the
putting
other part.
that staple on there. I can't even act
Right.
on this for a
Correct,
couple of
correct,
years.
right. And with that, it's like a lesson for her to learn about respecting what that looks like on the flip side. You
Yes.
know, we taught our girls what to respect ourselves, themselves, and others, and in the capacity of being around other people. However, there are rare times where, unless something happens, and then parents are trying to catch up to teach certain
Certain lessons after
aspects
the
in
fact.
regards to right interactions with people in general, but just the opposite sex. So he has demonstrated what respect looks like. He
Yes.
respects you, and Mama appreciates that. Okay, so
Honey,
and then
listen.
so with that, I want to say if that wasn't stated, you put that a mental note to bring that up because that is very, very, very important. And it also lets her know, even though she knows what's okay and what's not okay, but what's okay and what's not okay, how to
Right.
continue to have a proper engagement with him that is respectful. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's great. The other part, because I took some notes, is what caught me was the mama don't react. Don't react. So many people don't realize, no, they confuse their response with the reaction when they're reacting more times than not.
Hmm.
Everybody's reaction looks different. So Kayla gave a lot of the nonverbal, the body language, the facial expressions that came with the I call it with the summaries and outlines and the question, the nonverbal questioning, if you will. So good for her that she was able to point out those things that
Yes.
makes her feel that space is not a safe space for her. And a lot of parents
Right. Because
say,
I was going,
you thought
we
you
got
was
safe
doing the
space.
thing. You thought it. No, she's like, no, mama, not at 10, maybe at 2 and 3, 7,
It
maybe
has
9.
evolved.
There you go.
Yes.
Yeah. So
I'm glad you
with
said that because
keeping,
I was feeling some kind of way, like, how come she don't feel safe anymore? But you just made me realize it's not that she did, it's just that it has evolved. She has
yes,
evolved. So the
right,
space has
right,
to evolve. And I've
right.
always been like, really, like, my daughter she follows the rules. She follows instructions.
Yes,
She not going,
yes,
excuse me, Mr. Secret Service agent. I know that the
right.
president got to come through, but my mama told me to stand right here. So if you don't
And
mind
I'm
taking the president
standing
around the block
10
so that I
toes
can
down. I'm
stay here,
standing.
I'm
Correct.
standing
Because
like
I ain't getting in
she
trouble.
said, and we're not moving
Right.
from that. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
And so,
Yes.
so she's always been
Yes.
a good kid. So I love that we had this conversation because, oh my goodness, we needed this conversation. And I didn't know
Yeah,
we
and
needed
it's
it.
needed. Yeah, and so the conversation in itself and the topic,
Mm-hmm.
so many parents don't even know of a safe space. What are you
Yes.
talking about? They feel safe. And it's like, no, no, no. That's your interpretation of what you feel your child should feel based upon what you quote unquote provided. But like you
Right.
mentioned, our kids grow up. And
Yes.
so the same way that their sizes get bigger, so your 10-year-old is not gonna fit in a 2T. You got to get the appropriate size, okay?
But you got
So
you got clothes in there. You got clothes in there,
yes,
but if they don't fit them anymore, it
you
don't
know they
work.
have growth spurts. So with
Right.
that, our
So now the t-shirt on
engagement.
their arm. Like, that's a great analogy. Like, I
No,
don't know if
but
you know that. Like, you
really,
should
so you can
copyright that.
physically, so you can physically see
Trademark
it.
it.
We get really caught up in our kids are older and they should do this and they should meet that, and it's like, no, 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 no. We should adjust as parents. That's what we should be doing.
Because we
So,
expect our partners to adjust.
girl, that's a whole nother show. Yes,
Okay.
it is. Step on
Noted.
them toes. Step on them
Look,
toes. Them
noted.
toes is like, hold on, wait a minute. Let me draw them back. But
We adding to the
within
series.
that, but within that, the fact that you let her speak
Yes.
without interruption. My daughter tells me it all the time, like, mama, I'm not done. Because evidently I make a face like I'm about to start talking. I didn't realize I made this face. I don't know if my lips be about to move. I don't know. But she lets me know I'm not done. And I'm like, okay, breathe. I tell myself, breathe.
Mm-hmm.
Mommy's listening. And sometimes you have to tell yourself, listen, listen, listen. Girl, one time I told myself listen so much, I didn't even hear what she was saying because I was just like, make sure I didn't talk. But, and I had to tell her to repeat it and I'm listening all over again. But staying calm,
Mm-hmm.
listening with your ears. That sounds so silly. We tell our kids that, but no, as parents, we need to listen with our ears and our kids will let us know when they're ready for us to speak.
Right. And listen, I think ego plays into that
Okay.
because we're like, don't tell me to listen. Don't interrupt. You know what I mean? And it's like at the same time, our kids are going, but I haven't finished. So how do
I
you know
haven't
how to respond
finished.
if I haven't even
If I,
given you my whole thought?
yes,
And there are times
yes.
when I don't allow for that. Now, and that could play into the safe space or not, or the lack thereof, because there are
Hmm.
times when I'm like, this, and this. And she's like, but no, I don't want to hear that. I want you to go do what I said, or
Yes, yes,
I like
yes,
this conversation is over until I'm calmer or whatever, because I
yes.
can't take it right now. But if I say stop talking, right? And
Right,
sometimes she
right.
needs to get it out, but I'm not allowing her to, right? Because
So go ahead. I'm gonna
my
let you
voice is
finish.
final, right?
Yes.
But I can't do
So
that every time.
right. I was just about to say that. So with that, there's that part of communication.
Mm-hmm.
So you, as parents, we are still guiding. Well, at this phase of parenting, as far as like adolescence, we're
Right.
guiding our children in regards to how to work this, continue to be assertive in a respectful way, how
Yes.
to address certain things in life that are very important to them, you know. And in the moment when parenting gets real and you said what you said and what that looks like and what their options, because they're different. And each situation causes for a safe type of space, but that
Right.
safe space does shift and change. So as a parent, if you're not communicating that in this moment, mommy, daddy, whomever you are, or just say, I need to calm down because I want to be able to talk to you like in a calmer voice than what I am doing right now.
Yes.
If you're not doing that, you need to start. It is, and it's not falling under my child don't need an explanation. My child, no, we're not doing that. We're not doing how we were raised. Okay, we are not doing that because that
Right.
creates problems along the way.
Right.
You're
Because
informed.
our kids are no longer in the world we were raised in. This world
Correct.
is different. We
It
can't
is.
prepare them for the
It
world that we
is.
were raised in when it's a totally different space. It
Yes.
doesn't work.
Yes. Yes. And so, and then also within that, you are acknowledging your feelings. You're acknowledging, okay, hey, I'm on the edge, or whatever that is for you. So then when you are at a space of being able to calmly talk to your child,
Mm-hmm.
it shows them of options and things that they can do when they're having a hard time with their feelings. And when you have
Yes.
that conversation in the middle or in the end, you thank them. Thank you for sharing that with me. Because I can only imagine how uncomfortable I was about you telling mommy about your boo, who ain't your boo, but the
Right. It
perspective
was
boo, okay?
never boo.
And is letting them within that, it lets them hear that you hear them. It
Yes.
validates their feelings. It lets them know what they're feeling and thinking is okay. Yes, parents, you have to say it. Just because you let your child talk, that's part of the equation. You got to get the
Yes.
total in the end. You got to get the answer in the end. Wrapping it back around, acknowledging you verbally stating, I can only imagine how frustrating that is. That's exciting. You literally putting those feeling words coming out your mouth. And granted, you may not necessarily know what those words are, but you can still speak to that. You can still
Yes.
thank them for opening up to you. And that could be another actual podcast. But with that, just keep in mind that in this space of your parenting and continuing to create, evolve, adjust, modify this safe space, that you are in a position of asking if you can still be a part, because that's the phase of parenting that you're in. Your
Yes.
children, they're in that phase of, what did my friends tell me? Because they're the expert, even though we know they're not. Okay. Well, we've been there as children. They're going to their friends. So be elated and happy that you're still being invited to be a part of this safe space that you guys should be creating together.
Yes. And it may not be easy in the beginning, but we still have to do
Yes.
it. We still have to
Yes.
do it.
Yes. It's going to be a good handful of times of just a level of being totally uncomfortable.
Okay,
And
so
that's
let's
okay.
let's give some tips, right? Because
Okay. Okay.
like this don't have to be just about coaching me.
Okay. We can get some bullet points for those
So
who are the
bullet
note takers,
points, right?
like myself.
So what do we do? How do we co-create this safe space for our kids, right? I know that we the listening part was like the biggest thing, right? Just like
Yeah.
actually hearing
Yes.
her out and then
Yes.
implementing what she needed, right? It's not
Yes.
just listening
Yes.
and hearing her, but
Right.
actually doing what it is that she needed. So,
Right.
my first step is that open ears, open heart, right? Like having the time to sit and understand what she wants, right? And like I didn't give names or anything like that. Like the kids ain't gonna
Right.
see this podcast, you know what I mean? So she fine. She by the time they see it,
Right.
she'll be in a totally different school. Like I promise it's gonna
Right.
be all right. But the first thing first is really the listening part. And
Yes.
then, that could be when they want to talk. Like we were sitting on the edge of my bed. The TV is off. There's no phone in our hand, right?
There you go. Yes.
There's nothing that has my attention other
Hmm.
than her, right?
Yes. So no
And I think
distractions.
right. And so I consciously show her that she matters by putting those things away when she wants to talk.
Yes.
And I know that people
Yes.
go, oh, well, you can still have your phone out. But if you're talking to your
No.
significant other and they're like, you know what I'm saying? Like got their
Yeah.
phone in front of their face
Right.
and you're like,
Right.
so I'm telling you something, I'm pouring out my heart. And they're like, I
I
got
hear
you.
you. I hear.
I
Yeah. Yeah.
heard you. I
You're
know what
not
you said.
present.
It
Yeah.
doesn't
You're
work.
not
Right.
present. Yeah. Yes. Um, and then another part of that is sometimes life be life, and unexpected things happen. So setting aside some actual specific time, some quality
Yes.
time for you guys to spend time together. In those moments doesn't mean every time you guys are going to be talking about something this specific, but that's going to continue to help with establishing that level of trust, that deeper
Mm-hmm.
bond that you're wanting and want to create with your child. So sometimes people say it sounds silly. Why am I, scheduling time? No, because that way it ensures it gets done.
Yes.
So I always say twice a month on a minimum. Granted, the more the merrier. However, between kids' activities and CO stuff, it becomes a
Right.
bit much.
So
So,
on the calendar twice a month and then as
yes,
needed in between. Got it. Okay.
correct. Yes, yes. So scheduling that quality time is very, very important. And please believe me, your kid is going to be looking forward to it. They're going to be expecting it. When it doesn't happen, they're going to be like, so are we going to,
Right.
chill? And
No,
then
so what? I can't get on your calendar this month or
right.
what? Right.
Right. And I would say that put it somewhere they can see it. You know what I mean? So they can look
Ah,
forward to it. Like they need to see it too. So if you don't have like a family calendar or if they have a Google calendar or whatever, put it on the calendar so all the kids can see it, the family can see it. Um,
and
and already
she actually has something on my calendar. I'm looking at it and
let's
it
say
says sleep with mom on November 25th.
okay, and it was like
I
we
put
got our
her on my
backgrounds
bed.
on, but hey, but good job because we do a lot of stuff, and we'll look up and it'll be next month, and then it's 2 months from now, and then it's
Mhm.
2024. So put it on the calendar.
Right. Absolutely. Okay,
Um,
so
mhm,
the next one I would say for me is the no judgment zone. Like she had to make that
yeah,
clear. That's what she was
yes.
saying when she was saying, don't react, don't say
React.
anything.
Yes, I will say don't react. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. I
She's
agree.
saying, I need you to not judge me. And whatever I say, I'm not going to be shamed. I'm not going to. Now, she may not
Right.
know that language.
But that's what that means.
As a
Yeah,
coach,
yeah.
I know that language, right?
Right.
Because she was basically, I'm scared of your reaction. And I don't want
That's
to not tell
yes.
you stuff. I don't want to clam up, but that's what it's
Right.
causing, even
Right.
even though that's not what you mean, it's still how I
Yes.
respond, right? I don't
Yes.
get to choose her
Yes.
responses. I don't get to say, well,
Right.
that's just crazy. You should be able to tell me. That's not how that works.
Right. Right.
Again, I always
Right.
encourage
Right.
people go back to what you need from your significant other and
Mhm.
go from there. Your significant other can't tell you how to feel. When they say, well, you
Right.
shouldn't feel like that, the first thing we say is don't tell me how to feel.
How to
Why do
feel.
we
Right.
why do
Right.
we
Right.
feel like our kids don't have that same reaction?
Yes, but something that I'm like decoding Kayla's words, but
Right.
within this whole conversation, to be honest, she is telling you, I really want to tell you all this stuff, mommy, but I don't want to get in trouble for it. And that's
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes even in a situation, parents are like, why would you get in trouble for that? But the
Right.
reactions, you know what I mean? So it's like your kids want to talk to you. They want to tell you. You just need to pipe down a whole lot. You need to check yourself. So just know it's there. They want to share, but as what you're doing or not doing is making them not want to.
Right.
And they're trying to emotionally protect themselves. They don't realize that's what they're doing, but they're trying to emotionally protect themselves from you.
And why would our children need to be vulnerable from us? Like that, you know what I'm saying? But
Yeah,
but
yeah.
again, check your ego,
Right.
right?
Right,
Because
right.
it's not about oh my goodness, like she don't feel safe, and I've done everything I can, but
Right.
have you done everything she needs? Right. That's
Mm-hmm.
what I had to ask myself. Right. If my significant
Yeah.
other was saying that, I would go, okay, what does he need? Like, you know, and I would ask him that the same way I asked her, what is it that you
Yeah.
need so that I can
Mm-hmm.
make this a better space? Okay.
Yes.
I love it.
Yes. And if you're not asking those two questions, that's another thing. You know what I'm gonna say. Okay. All right. But going back to staying calm, and I already went into depth, but just remember, stay calm. If you feel like you're about to say something, don't even open your mouth to speak. Just take a breath. There you go for that. Um, just take a breath. And then the we
And I
kind of
was
already
like, Dad,
correct.
she immediately was like, that high pitched voice is a clear indication that you are not
No,
okay.
ma'am. No, ma'am. We are not crying for rehearsal, okay? Don't do it. So
Oh my
so
goodness.
but with that, just respecting, and I'm gonna say this again, as a parent, respect your child.
Mm-hmm.
Respecting what they're asking of you, but what they're asking of you is the reason why you're co-creating this safe space so
Right.
that they can understand what is happening and what's just not happening. You know what I mean? Because
Mm-hmm.
I remember one time my daughter told me, well, when I have my door closed, hold up. I just think that within any Black family, when you say, why is the door closed? But that's a whole other, and that was me like, who are you talking about? Why, what do you, and I'm listening.
But
Go ahead.
all things in season, right? So
Right. So
if your door is closed, now that she has a phone, leave that door open. You know what I'm
So
saying?
what she was asking, like, but this was her understanding in her 12-year-old mind, and I had to just kind of edit it for her, move some sentences around and made it appropriate. So she was saying, when my door is closed, I need my door to stay closed. And I took a breath before I responded. And I said, I understand there are times where you need time to yourself. The way that mommy will know that you need that time is if you communicate that. The way
Right.
that mommy would know that you're okay and don't need to bust up in that room is if you communicate, mommy, has been a long day, or I just need about 5 or 10 minutes, or whatever the case may be, so I can understand the reason why the door is closed. But just
Right.
please and
As
believe.
opposed to being shut out. Like,
Right,
because that's,
right.
when I was closing my door, I was shutting, and she was like, you at my house? No.
Yes. But I said, but please and believe, because I said, I'll knock, but I'm not entering. Okay. I'm boom, 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 it's open. So I'm just letting you know I'm coming, and that's it.
Right.
That's it. So
And
there
there's
is
no lock
no
on her door for that reason.
no, right.
You can't lock me out of my house. Like, we're not doing that. Right.
So
You
there,
can
and it took
close
some
it. You ain't
adjustment
locking
from
it.
her because she's seeing and hearing what other her friends are doing, whatever. And I'm like, I'm not that mama. I'm not that mama. I know I'm special, and I've accepted that. So I don't mind your door being closed by way of with these conditions. You communicating. If there's no communication and it's just closed, I just walk right, just open it up.
Right.
And that's her warning for her, like, oh, I didn't check in with mom. Or if you let me know what's going on, the reason we're closed, it's okay, because if I need you, I'm knocking and I'm coming in.
Right.
You don't pay no bills. So, but also there's that part of allowing her to have that space as she needs it, but also learning to communicate properly with
It is
it.
the other thing. Yeah. Like, mommy, I just want to be alone for a while, or mommy, I want to watch
Yes.
TV. Mommy, you're too loud on your podcast. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
but
Right.
communicate with me so that I
Yes,
know
that
what's going on.
communication.
And giving our children that opportunity to say, like, just invalidating their feelings, like, mom, I just want to be alone. And I want to shut
Yeah,
my
she
door
said
so
I
I
just
can
had a
feel like
long
I'm in
day.
my own
Yeah.
place. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then, okay, I can see how you could feel that way. It's been a long day.
Right.
I would love to walk in my room and shut my door, but I'm conscious that I don't want her to feel shut out. You understand what I'm
Right.
saying?
Yes.
But if she's
Yes.
like, hey, I do need to shut you and the dog out for just a little, I can
Just
respect
a
it because
minute. Just a
because the
second,
dog is
mama.
a lot. The dog is a lot. He
I know.
is. Okay. He is always there. Always. Like, so
Having a
I
moment. Right.
Like right now, he is asleep under the couch. But if I get up, he's gonna move with me. If I go to the bathroom, he's moving there with me. So the dog is
Anyway,
very much an emotional support
yes.
animal. We don't need that much emotional support. So, but saying like,
Oh my
and y'all
goodness.
can write,
But yes.
y'all feel free to write in about fur babies because this is new to me. Okay. But
I was gonna share
telling my
some with you, but I'll
daughter,
do it off camera. But yes,
right?
go ahead.
Telling our kids, right? I was saying telling my daughter, but telling our children in general, um, I can see why you'd feel that way, right? It's been a
Yes.
long day.
Yeah.
We've had this going on, we had that going on,
Or it's just been a
maybe
lot going on,
right.
in
Or maybe
general.
like we just not vibing with each other today. You know what I'm saying? Like
Oh, say that one
that's the
again. Well, that
thing.
needs to,
It's
we
a
ain't
real
vibing.
thing. We're
Yes.
not, and when we force
Yes.
ourselves to interact with people that we
Oh,
are without understanding whatever the little things that are
yeah.
aggravating us, like think
Yes.
about coworkers, and like at some point you just like let me do my 8 hours, and then I go home and I got to deal. But sometimes when you're in a house with somebody, you're like, okay, I didn't have to clean up. And I had to do a deep clean. Like she got me washing baseboards. I'm cleaning all the handles on the doors. She might need to
Right.
just go and just sit and just be by
Right.
herself for a minute.
Yeah,
I
she
need
is. She
that.
needs to decompress. I'm
Right. She's
laughing
dealing with
because me and my
kids
daughter
all
just had a
day.
moment on that. Yeah.
Listen, our children are going to school. They're dealing with bullying. They're dealing with kids
They're
that are
dealing
just
with a
crazy. Well, I
lot.
won't say kids that are crazy. Kids that are exposed to different things. Kids
Yes.
that, what I'm saying? It's like it's you looking at my boyfriend, you looking at my girlfriend stuff. When they come home, sometimes they don't want to jump right into homework. Sometimes they just like, can I
Yeah.
just sit?
Right, right. Yeah. Yeah.
Can I just sit? Can I just
Yes.
do some mindless activity? And I
Right,
get that because
right.
after I've been coaching all day, after I've been
Yes.
facilitating
Oh,
classes,
yes.
I don't want to do all that.
Right.
I don't. Like
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
just want to be by myself in my
Yeah.
thoughts. I don't need the TV on. I just want to
Right.
sit. I ain't going to sleep. I
Yes.
just want to sit. So
Yes. Yes.
respecting that is good.
Right, 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 right. And then what we haven't spoken on to share and specify is I always say share of you. And I say when I reference, I always say this for his parents, share of yourselves. Our kids are at that age where they think that when we came into the world, we were parents. And we know that we weren't. You've been through
Right.
some stuff. You did some things. If
You
they're
weren't born 35. You had to go through 1 through
right.
34 first.
You didn't have some life under your belt, and share that with your kid. They need to know that you are human. They need to know that you
Mm-hmm.
made mistakes, and it doesn't always have to be a moment of what I did this and this was wrong. It can be something silly, you know, like
Yeah,
your friend, granted that I'm not saying be your child's friend, but in those moments, allow the parent hood, if you will, to come down for a minute so that you can have that deeper level of bonding with your child within situations,
absolutely.
whether that's life lessons or just a true bonding moment. So share a view. If your child is doing something, going through something that you done been there, done that, guess what? Like, mommy did that too. They were like, what? You did what? Well, some parents, they be like, oh, I
Yes.
know. But you know what I mean? But share of you is very, very important.
So shameless plug, or not so shameless because I don't care. I I created a book project on this called A Mother's Diary, and it's stories of women and the things that we've gone through, right? Because our daughters hear us
Yes.
saying no, and let me rephrase that: our
Yes.
children hear us saying no, because that's
A
fathers,
lot.
that's
Quickly.
mothers. They hear
A
us
quick
saying
no.
no all the time, and they don't have the
Mm-hmm.
backstory around it. And
Okay.
so we talked about, like, one of the authors talked about being drugged by the bartender. Like, this is just a
Wow.
girl's night out, right? Now, she was
Yeah.
a deputy at this time. She was a
Wow.
deputy. He don't know that though, but
Right,
she's
right.
she is out with her friends, and she's like, I don't need. I remember putting my head on the steering wheel because it was too heavy, and she had to
Mm,
drive home like that. Like, and she at the time, she's not even knowing that she's drugged. She just
mm.
knows she's all of a sudden really tired, and so
Wow.
that goes to show, like, this is why mommy says cover your drink. Don't just accept a drink from stranger, because you don't know if you look at, like, police officers, if you say, hey, you want a glass of water, and you hand them a regular glass, they're like, no, thank you. They want it in a closed bottle because they need to know that nothing has happened to the water.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So,
Yeah.
stories about, being 12 and having sex and, not because you're ready, but because you're curious and because of peer pressure and things like this. This is why I
Yes.
want to be the pressure for your peers. This is why I want to influence your influencers, because I
Right. Yes.
understand
Yes. Show
that
up.
these
Be
are the things.
present.
So when I say I'm volunteering at the school,
No, I
it
believe.
really is for
Yes.
your own good, and I'm coming whether you want me to or not, because I understand that
Right.
there's more to it than, oh, mommy said no, I can't do this. I
Right.
understand that
Right.
there's other
Yes.
factors that play in that will make you do it anyway, or
Mm-hmm,
have
mm-hmm.
or influence your choice to do it. I won't say make you do it. So
I'm
all of
like,
those things
yes.
are right, but all of those things are important. And I think that if we're not careful and don't share our stories with our kids, they feel like we don't have the experience of the story, right? Like if I
Yeah.
could tell
It's
you
just no,
this is
just
why you
because
don't
it's
gang
no.
bang. If I could tell you
Yeah.
this is why we don't go to house parties, right? And I could tell you about the
Right.
story of the kid, how they shot up the party, or how somebody was shot execution
Yeah.
style, or how as soon as somebody
Right.
go, west side, like it's time to go.
Girl. Anyway, girl, you wait, I just had a flashback. I don't even know if they caught it. If y'all caught, don't do that. This
Listen,
I
west
wasn't
side,
ready
east
for that
side,
one.
like I
Don't.
don't care what it is. The minute somebody yell out in the party and it's cell gang affiliated, it is time to run. You shouldn't have been
No,
there,
it ain't
but
even
it's
got to be
definitely time to go.
sounding gang affiliate. It's just that wasn't the words to the song. You need to excuse yourself immediately, okay? Just immediately. All right. Anyways, that I think that the hood lessons, but we digress. All
But it
right,
is what
but
it like.
correct.
But they need to know we know the hood. That's the point.
Yes,
They need to
yes,
know that we've had enough hood experience that we know
yes,
the hood lessons.
yes,
You
yes.
and
Because my child wouldn't know what again. What was that the words to the
right.
song? Then you should have been on the freeway. That's it. That's it. That's all. You should have been on the freeway heading home.
Exactly. Trusting your instinct. And, when we talk about in dating and
Yeah.
somebody, and you like, maybe I'll give him another and that happened to me recently. I was like, all right, I'll give him one more shot. And then just
I'm
for him
like,
to blow the shot, and then his true intentions came out. And I was like, oh, okay, let's go ahead and end this conversation here. Good day,
mm-hmm.
sir. Or I think I said good
Yeah.
life, sir. And then I blocked, like you don't even get to respond. So then he sends me a Instagram message. And when I clicked on it and I saw that long paragraph, I didn't even read it. I just went on and blocked them because
Correct.
why? Because what you're
Correct.
right.
Yeah,
But
it's
if
a
I
waste of
trusted
time.
my instinct the first time,
Waste of
right?
time.
And because I know that this can happen as an adult, I know it's gonna happen to you as a child.
No, it is. It
All
is.
those things
And
matter.
that's another topic. But yes, with
Yes.
all that what you said. And then
We
and
definitely
then
should talk about dating, but go ahead.
yeah. So to wrap it up, just being consistent. You have to be consistent. My daughter calls me out. She has some great parents who are very direct in their communication. And she calls me out. She's like, Mommy, you do good for about 2 months. And I'm like, well, damn. Okay, well, mental note to me, go 3, 4 months. But I do good for a couple of months. Evidently I fall off. So mental note that I'm working on that. But be
Work in
consistent.
progress always.
Put a couple of more notifications that's on my calendar to be present. But be consistent. We know
Yes.
it's hard. We know life happens. We know things get in the way of what we're wanting to do.
Mm-hmm.
Take a breath, but be consistent. Be as consistent as possible. Put it
Yes.
that way. But the goal is to be
And
consistent overall.
open. And
Yeah,
open.
because it matters. Our kids are watching. They may not say it, but it's important to them. It's
And no
important to
taboo
them.
topics. Like there should not be any topics that are off limits,
Yeah.
because the minute we make it where something is off limits, they're like,
Then
okay, so that's where I can't
it's a
share.
wrap.
And I
Yeah,
promise
right,
you, that's what life is finna throw at them.
right,
Just because it's a taboo topic,
right.
life is
Yeah,
about to throw it. And now
it's gonna
they
happen.
can't talk about something that they should feel safe doing so. So now they just have to experience it. And sometimes they don't walk out of those experiences. Sometimes when they walk out, they got to walk into an institution
Mhm.
from those experiences. Sometimes, they are
Yeah,
so scarred from the experience that it creates other
right,
experiences that we don't need. And so
right.
it's all about making sure that they can talk to you about anything. And sometimes parents, we get into the habit of thinking they can always come to me, and our kids are in the habit of going, I'm never going to you for that. I'm
Yeah,
gonna come to
yeah,
you for money. I'm gonna
exactly.
come to you for food. I'm gonna come to you for
Right,
housing. I'm gonna come to you
right,
when I turn on the light switch and the lights don't come on. But
right.
I'm not coming to you about drugs. I'm not coming to you about sex. I'm not coming to you about sexuality. I'm not coming to you. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
They will
yeah, they
leave
have a
stuff out.
list. Yeah, they
Yes,
will. So, and if you, I would say as a parent, if you're saying that, if you have said that, I'm just gonna let you know there's a lot your kid isn't telling you. And that's a
yes.
tough pill to swallow. But as being a therapist, I'm letting you know there's a lot that your child is not telling you or has shared with you. Not that they don't want to, but because you have that mentality. Oh no, they can come to me, they can tell me, but the work has been put in to create that safe space.
All right. Any final thought, Danielle?
No, I think that wrapped it up right there.
All right. I'm gonna tell, just for me, trust, empathy, creating a space where they know they can come to you. That's what it's all about. And if you have additional tips, right? If there's something we didn't cover and you like,
Yeah, or
I
something that
want,
you do.
right. And you're like, I think parents should do this, please email it to us. We will
Yes,
definitely address it.
yes,
What's our
yes.
email?
TheRealOnParenting@gmail.com.
Yeah, because
Yes,
I
we
don't
will
always
respond
know
to
it.
it.
Thank you for joining us here on Cityscape Radio,
Yes.
KCCR Brownstone Worldwide. We appreciate you. I am Coach Kiana Shaw, and my co-host.
Therapist Danielle.
We are the Real on Parenting. Have a great day.